Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, everybody from wherever you're joining on this globe. I feel honored and delighted to welcome you all to today's webinar on engaging law schools to prevent gender-based violence in India. My name is Valentina Maggiulli, and I'm the Gender Advisor and Deputy Head of Programs at SWISSAID, based in Bern in Switzerland. At SWISSAID, we work alongside local communities in 10 countries to overcome hunger and poverty through a focus on agroecology and social equity. Central to our mission is the belief that sustainable development is only possible when we also dismantle gender-based violence and champion the rights of women, ensuring everyone has the safety and agency to lead a dignified life. SWISSAID and ILS Law College and 3 other civil society organizations have been implementing an exciting project to end gender-based violence and discrimination in 8 districts of Marathwada region of India since March 2023. And this has only been made possible by the generous co-funding of the European Union. While the 3 civil society organizations are engaged at the community level work of transforming social norms related to domestic violence and child marriage, ILS Law College is leading the strengthening of law-based legal aid clinics and one-stop centers run by the government to ensure the sustainability of the system. Our esteemed co-host for this webinar, the ILS Law College, is an 100+ years old premier institution engaged in imparting quality legal education. The college has produced a galaxy of alumni, including 3 Chief Justice of India, a Deputy Prime Minister in India, 3 Chief Ministers of Maharashtra, and many other prominent personalities. The ILS Law College continues to mark its presence in the legal arena with highest standards of education, focuses on research and commitment to social causes through extensive legal aid activities. And this year, we specifically congratulate the college for celebrating its golden jubilee of its legal aid center established in 1976. We are holding today this webinar on the occasion of International Women's Day, which was yesterday, but nevertheless, we are in the time. And the Women's Day is actually not just here to say thank you. It's a vital call to recognize the achievements and tireless contributions of women, which make those contributions every day around the world. While we celebrate these achievements, we must also confront the reality that true equality remains out of reach for many, with systemic gaps in the rights and opportunities still persisting globally. True appreciation means moving beyond polite gratitude to actively championing equity and dismantling the barriers that still hold women back. Beyond economic or social gaps, gender-based and domestic violence remains the most devastating barriers to progress, stripping women of their safety, dignity, and fundamental agency. We cannot celebrate empowerment without also demanding an end to systemic violence that continues to hold back half of the world's potential. This is why I'm especially glad that we are able to not just address this topic today, but also show how we are creating innovative solutions to prevent and respond to gender-based and domestic violence in India. I would like to quickly walk you through the agenda for the next hour. We start with our colleague Achyut Borgavkar, our program officer at SWISSAID in India, who will go with us on the journey of SWISSAID, India's gender-based violence program towards sustainability. Then followed by an overview of engagement activities with law schools presented by Dr. Suvarna Nilakh. She's an assistant professor at the ILS Law College. We will then hear and see reflections via a video of participating law students under the motto of How I Became a Gender Equality Ambassador. And the next point, Dr. Varsha Khandagale, also an assistant professor at the ILS Law College, walks us through from engagement to impact and provide outcomes from the law students' engagement. We will be rounding up the input section with two law students, Harshavardhan More and Kiran Survase, who will provide testimonies on how participating in the project has changed them and how they see their future role as practitioners of law. We will then have the opportunity to pick up some of your questions, dear audience, and answer them in the Q&A session. And before I hand over to Achyut, just a very few housekeeping rules. For facilitating purposes, we'll keep the microphones of the audience closed, but you're very welcome to open your camera so that we also see who is in the room. You are, as I said, able to ask your questions, and please put your questions in the chat. We will screen them during the webinar and then select the most relevant for the Q&A session. And this session will be recorded. I think it already started, actually, and I hope this is also fine for everybody. So without further ado, I would like to hand over the floor to you, Achyut. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Valentina. And thank you, everyone here, for joining this important webinar on engaging with law schools to prevent gender-based violence. At the beginning, I would like to briefly share the journey of SWISSAID and SWISSAID's GBV program. It will help you to understand why and how we decided to engage with the law schools in this program. So SWISSAID has a long history of about 2 decades of working on addressing gender-based violence in India, particularly in the state of Maharashtra. Our initial efforts to address GBV were primarily focused on raising legal awareness at the community level, ensuring that women and girls understood their rights under various existing laws. However, it quickly became evident that awareness alone was not sufficient. Survivors required accessible, responsive, and coordinated support systems. So as a result, from 2013, we systematically transitioned toward a more holistic response model. That is engaging not only communities, but also civil society organizations, different NGOs, and of course, state actors, state machinery as well. So the focus at that time was on strengthening referral pathways, referral systems, and improve institutional responsiveness. Of course, this helped us ensure effective support services for survivors of GBV. But after 5 years of implementation of this program, around 2018, we undertook an internal review of the program at SWISSAID. And we realized that strengthening response systems was indeed important, of course, but for creating a lasting and sustainable impact, we must also put equal emphasis on prevention alongside our response efforts. So that was the time we decided to work with gender transformative approaches. And that time we started engaging men and boys in the interventions. We conducted exhaustive research studies to map gender attitudes, prevailing social norms in the area, uh, which perpetuate GBV in the project region. So the findings of these studies helped us make a strategic shift towards norm transformation and systemic change. Now, for more than 5 years, we have been working to challenge and reshape these traditional gender attitudes, traditional gender social norms related to domestic violence, child marriage, dowry, all for GBV prevention. And in 2022, recently, last 4 years back, when we got grant support from European Union, which Valentina mentioned, for the GBV programming, sustainability, especially sustainability and scalability, was at the forefront of our thinking. Hence, we conceptualized and included this new intervention of engaging law schools, engaging law students as partners in GBV prevention. And by working with legal educational institutions, we aim to expand access to legal services and justice for the vulnerable women and girls from the area. We also aim to ensure that the future law professionals like understand, interpret, and implement as well the laws with a gender and human rights perspective. And we believe this is a strategic investment. This is a valuable contribution for bringing positive change in the gender justice ecosystem overall. So this is it about the gender-based uh, uh, program, gender violence program at SWISSAID. And with this, now I hand over the floor to Dr. Suvarna Nilakh. She is an assistant professor at ILS Law College to present before you this wide range of engagement that we had with the law colleges so that they come forward as active collaborators for GBV prevention. So thank you, and over to Suvarna.
Good afternoon, everyone. As Achyut mentioned, I am here to present the overview of the activities which ILS Law College has conducted with law schools in Marathwada under Project Nirdhar Samantesa, uh, which is aimed at improving access to justice to women and children affected by gender-based discrimination and violence, with a focus on domestic violence and the child marriage. This project is primarily undertaken with three objectives, where we primarily focused upon improving the functioning of legal aid clinics in law colleges so that they could operate as reliable and long-term support systems for the community. By connecting these clinics with local populations, the project aimed to make legal assistance more accessible while also helping to prevent and respond to cases of gender-based violence at the grassroots level. Then we also aimed at improving the ability of legal aid clinics to provide effective legal assistance. It involved building the skills, resources, and knowledge of those involved in the clinics, such as law students as well as faculty, so that they could provide better support to individuals seeking legal guidance and services. Lastly, the project emphasized spreading awareness about gender related issues and legal rights among community members. Through outreach activities conducted by law college legal aid centers, the project sought to educate people about laws protecting women and encourage informed actions against gender-based discrimination and violence. Now, why this particular project is undertaken? If we look at the National Family Health Survey report, round 5, it shows that child marriage rates in Marathwada region, particularly in Bid, Parbhani and Hingoli, are higher than national average of 22%. SWISSAID's baseline survey also found that 1 in 4 women experiences domestic violence, with a significant proportion of women and girls justifying physical violence. These issues worsened during COVID-19 pandemic. Limited legal awareness among communities and duty bearers further reduced support seeking behavior, highlighting the need for locally accessible and sustainable mechanisms for advocacy and support. It was further found that There is a lack of stable and easily accessible local systems that can provide continuous legal assistance and advocacy support to communities. Many law college legal aid centers exist primarily to meet institutional or regulatory requirements. In India, the Bar Council of India, which is the regulatory body for legal education, by way of Legal Education 2008 norms, have mandated every law college to have a legal aid center. Now, the problem is these legal aid centers are existing just for the sake of formality. There is very limited active engagement in providing meaningful legal services by these legal aid centers. Insufficient financial support and resources further limit the ability of legal aid centers to conduct regular activities and outreach initiatives. The activities, if you look at, which are organized by legal aid centers, are often irregular and lack sustained follow-up or long-term engagement with the communities. They are, majority of the times, they are very sporadic in nature. There are either no or very limited opportunities for systematic training that would equip faculty members and students with the knowledge and sensitivity required to address legal and gender-related issues. Many faculty members have no or very minimal direct experience in litigation or community-based legal practice, which affects their ability to effectively handle the clients or guide the students in dealing with the legal aid related work. Further, there are certain academic and student engagement challenges which we could identify. Only a small number of students actively participate in the legal aid initiatives and related outreach work. Law students' ability to support community legal awareness and assistance remains largely untapped. Legal aid work is often given little priority within the academic structure and course requirements. There is very minimal importance given to the legal aid activities in the curriculum in many of the law schools in India. Both faculty members and students have limited interest or they have very little encouragement to participate in the legal aid initiatives because of the lesser importance given to the legal aid activities in the curriculum. Then the alumni members are rarely involved in supporting or strengthening legal aid activities and outreach efforts. Further, we could also realize that legal aid centers have minimal partnership with government departments and civil society organizations, reducing the reach and effectiveness of their activities. Further, poor communication and coordination with stakeholders like District Legal Services Authority limit the opportunities for support and joint legal aid initiatives. Hence, the idea of strengthening legal aid centers in the 8 law colleges of Marathwada was proposed as a strategy to enhance access to legal services for survivors of gender-based discrimination and violence. It was envisioned that sensitized and socially aware law students could play a significant role in challenging the existing practices. At the same time, such exposure and training would enable them to carry forward the principles of rights and equality into the institutions they would later join as lawyers, judges, academicians, administrators, and policymakers. With these background studies and our experiences, we started getting ready for the project. 8 law colleges were selected, one from each district of Marathwada. As Hingoli district did not have a law college, we selected 2 colleges from Chhatrapati Sambhajinagar for the project. For the effective implementation of the project, collaborations were established with the Maharashtra Legal Services Authority and Women and Child Development Department of Government of Maharashtra. The project was formally inaugurated at the hands of Honorable Justice Devendra Kumar Upadhyay, then Chief Justice of Bombay High Court and Patron-in-Chief of Maharashtra Legal Services Authority. This inauguration ceremony also saw participation by several dignitaries, including the Commissioner of Women and Child Development Department, Mr. Prashant Narnore. We developed training manuals to ensure consistency and uniformity in the training sessions and conducted pre-training and post-training assessments to evaluate the impact of training programs. Further, we also designed the post-training activities in order to keep students engaged and provide practical insights. Experts from various fields were identified as resource persons and to develop the training program and facilitate its execution. These experts further helped in defining strategy for strengthening the legal aid centers. With the help of these experts, we identified 5 strategies for strengthening of the legal aid centers, which included comprehensive classroom teachings, experiential learnings through visits, internships, and competitions, community engagement and awareness campaigns, webinars and online campaigns, and promoting local linkages and collaborations. Classroom trainings were conducted for 2 batches in each college, focusing on 3 thematic areas, which included developing a gender and human rights perspective, prohibition of child marriage, and protection of women from domestic violence. The trainings were designed, as I mentioned earlier, based on a training needs assessment. Detailed training schedules and manuals were prepared so that we could maintain uniformity across the colleges. Expert trainers were engaged and sessions were designed to be participatory and activity based. The impact of the trainings was assessed through pre-training and post-training evaluations. Through these efforts, we could train approximately 640 students and 20 faculty members in 8 law colleges in Maharashtra, particularly in Marathwada region. Post the training, students were involved students were provided opportunities to visit institutions and community settings like government departments such as Women and Child Development Department, Child Welfare departments, then child helplines, one-stop centers, civil society organizations, in order to gain practical understandings and real-world exposure to legal processes and social issues. Total 18 visits were conducted where we could see a participation of approximately 250 students. Then approximately 69 students gained practical exposure to legal aid and social support systems through internships at institutions such as one-stop centers, civil society organizations, which are also our partner organizations like Hello Medical Foundation, Gramin Mahila Vikas Sanstha, and Manolo, the District Legal Aid Services Authority, police stations, and the ILS Legal Aid Center. Approximately 217 students participated in competitions such as poster making, street play competition, blog writing competition, reel making competition, story writing competition, slogan writing competition, debate competition, elocution competition, etc. These competitions were conducted to encourage law students to creatively engage with legal and social issues, enhance their communication skills, and promote awareness on themes related to gender and related to justice and gender equality. Activities such as awareness rallies and distribution of legal literacy material were conducted to help law students engage directly with communities, spreading awareness about legal rights and strengthening their practical understandings of the legal outreach activities. Here we could see participation of almost 665 students in these activities. Through mobile legal aid clinics, law students gained practical exposure to community legal needs and developed skills in providing legal awareness and supports at the grassroots level. Total of 42 such legal aid clinics camps were conducted, which saw participation of more than 300 students. This here the we could also see the active participation by district legal aid services authorities in conduct of these camps. Majority of the times, the sitting secretary of the district legal aid services authority participated in these mobile legal aid clinics, which were organized by the participating law colleges. Then webinars and online campaigns were conducted to enhance students' understanding of legal issues, promote critical discussion, and spread awareness on gender justice through digital platforms. More than 800 participants participated in these webinars and online campaigns. Through local linkages and collaborations, we could local linkages and collaborations were strengthened through joint trainings, stakeholder consultations, collaborations among colleges, and engagement with government representatives. So here we could also see participation of the local government representatives in the training programs, the stakeholders of the Women's and Child Development Department, guiding the students during the exposure visits. And this actually helped us in establishing local linkages and the collaborations. This project was a unique and pioneering initiative in which ILS Law College made dedicated efforts to strengthen the legal aid centers of other institutions in regions where such support was most needed. The project also led to the introduction of student exchange program, which are typically seen at the international level or national level. But here, they were innovatively implemented at the local level in this case. These exchanges provided students with valuable opportunities to engage with diverse perspectives and grassroots realities, thereby deepening their understanding of community issues and legal needs. The involvement of faculty and students and alumni of ILS Law College extended beyond planning and execution, with faculty contributing through the preparation of reading materials, participation in initial trainings, judging competitions, student participating in internships and training programs, and ILS alumni actively mentoring students from Marathwada by sharing their experiences in legal aid work and guiding them on how to contribute effectively to legal aid initiatives. Since the project area was Marathwada, ILS Law College students and faculty were technically outside its scope. Therefore, however, recognizing the importance of this initiative, ILS Law College independently undertook a similar program for its own students and faculty using institutional funds. We have trained almost 73 students of ILS Law College under this project and 20 faculty members, where the similar training programs, exposure visits, and post-training activities were conducted. Now, with this, I conclude my presentation, and I would like to go ahead with the screening of a short video which has been prepared by the ILS Law College along with the help of SWISSAID, where students of participating law college are demonstrating their journey of becoming gender equality ambassador.
Marathwada, a region in central Maharashtra marked by recurrent droughts and semi-arid landscapes, continues to grapple with yet another deeply evident struggle, where generations of children and women have seen their childhoods shortened by the shadow of patriarchy, gender-based violence and discrimination evident through issues like child marriage and domestic violence. But in the heart of Maharashtra, a quiet transformation is taking place. Through a project supported by SWISSAID and co-funded by European Union, young legal minds are stepping beyond limitations. This transformation is being strengthened through capacity building programs and trainings conducted by ILS Law College Pune by equipping students with a deeper understanding of gender and human rights. Over the next few minutes, you will witness stories of determination, where law students from the Marathwada region are turning opportunities into impact and leaning into leadership.
आजच्या समाजातील चाइल्ड मॅरेजेस आणि डोमेस्टिक व्हायलन्स या केसेसचं वाढतं प्रमाण आणि समाजाने एक बनवून ठेवलेला एक साचा ज्यामध्ये मुलींना खूप कमी लेखण्यात येतं. या प्रोजेक्टमुळे मला समजलं की ह्या जो साचा आहे जो समाजाने बनवलेला त्याच्यामधून मी बाहेर कसं पडता येईल.
तर बदल असा की मी आता घरातले सर्व कामे करतो. असं वाटायचं की मुलींचे कामं मुलींनीच केले पाहिजेत, मुलांचे कामं मुलांनीच केले पाहिजेत, पण तसं नसून ही कामं सर्वांनी केले म्हणजे करायची. त्या ट्रेनिंगमुळे मला असं समजलेलं आहे.
What began merely as a classroom conversation soon became a shift in perspective. For many of these students, the law transformed from theory in books to a tool for change in their own communities. Let us hear what these students have to say.
पॉईंट घेतले त्याबद्दल त्यांच्याशी एक कनेक्टिव्हिटी झालो की त्यांनी स्वतःच आपलं सांगितलं की त्यांच्या घरामध्ये काय समस्या आहेत किंवा गावामध्ये काय समस्या आहेत, बालविवाह असेल, घरगुती हिंसाचार असेल, याबद्दल त्यांनी आम्हाला एक कनेक्टिव्हिटी होऊन सांगितलं.
एक व्यक्ती समोर येऊन आम्हाला म्हणते की आमच्या इथं पण असे एक विवाह होते आणि ते विवाह होतं म्हटल्यानंतर आम्ही त्यांची माहिती घेतल्यानंतर तिथं ग्रामपंचायतीमधील मुख्य म्हणजे ग्रामसेवक असेल, सरपंच असेल, यांची आम्ही माहिती घेऊन त्यांना एक निवेदन पत्र दिलं.
Exposure visits deepened not only their knowledge but also their commitment.
आणि तिथे गेल्यानंतर आम्हाला एक कळालं की महिला संबंधित म्हणजे शासन कोणत्या म्हणजे विचार करतं, कोणत्या स्तरापर्यंत सशक्त झालोय की एखादी पीडित महिला जर माझ्याकडे डायरेक्ट आली तर मी तिला सांगू शकतो, मार्गदर्शन करू शकतो की बाबा आपण ह्या मार्गे आपण तुम्हाला न्याय आपण देऊ शकतो.
मला समजले की शासन कशा पद्धतीने काम करतं, आपण एक नागरिक म्हणून आपली शासनाप्रती काय जबाबदारी आहे. तसेच छोटी गोष्ट म्हणजे आपल्या जिल्ह्यातील असलेलं OSC सेंटर असू द्यात, WCD सेंटर असू द्यात, याबद्दल मला माहिती झाली. तसेच मला कोणी विचारलं तरी ॲटलिस्ट मी त्यांचा ॲड्रेस तरी नक्कीच देऊ शकेन.
Competitions organized by ILS Law College, students found powerful new ways to give voice to their convictions.
मध्ये त्यांनी घेतलेल्या विविध स्पर्धांमध्ये मी सहभागी झाले. उदाहरणार्थ लेखन स्पर्धा असेल, घोषवाक्य स्पर्धा असेल, त्याचबरोबर विविध वादविवाद स्पर्धा असतील, भाषण स्पर्धा असतील. अशा गोष्टीमुळे माझ्या कल्पनेला वाव मिळत गेला. मी त्या बालविवाह झालेल्या मुलींच्या आयुष्याच्या म्हणजे गोष्टी काही त्या विषयावर अभ्यास करायला लागले, त्यांच्या भावना समजून घ्यायला लागले. आपल्या शब्दामुळे, आपल्या वाचनामुळे आणि आपल्या अभ्यासामुळे आपण समाजामध्ये बराच बदल घडवून आणू शकतो.
From campus to fields, internships opened new horizons for these students.
निर्धार समानतेचा या प्रोजेक्ट थ्रू मी CWC, OSC, HMF, हॅलो मेडिकल फाउंडेशन, सिटी पोलीस स्टेशन आणि डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीगल एड सर्व्हिसेस अथॉरिटी या ठिकाणी इंटर्नशिप्स केल्या. मग चाइल्ड मॅरेज झाल्यामुळे त्या पुढे डोमेस्टिक व्हायलन्सच्या केसेस कशा येतात किंवा त्या कशामुळे या गोष्टी होतात या गोष्टीचा एकंदरीत गोष्टी समजल्या. तसेच सखी वन स्टॉप सेंटर आणि चाइल्ड वेलफेअर कमिटी यासोबत काम करत असताना मला एकंदरीत ते कशा प्रकारे काम करतात, जर असं काही दिसून यायला तर CWC, सखी वन स्टॉप सेंटर वगैरे त्यांना सांगेन की अशा प्रकारे होत आहेत गोष्टी.
विद्यार्थी असतात ते कशा प्रकारे डील करतात, त्यांना जे नोटीस ड्राफ्ट करण्यापासून ते त्या ठिकाणची ADR सिस्टीम म्हणजे मेडिएशनच्या माध्यमातून असू द्या, ते असे मॅट्रिमोनियल डिस्प्यूट असू द्या ते सॉल्व्ह करतात. आणि जी एखादी महिला जर आली असेल त्या ठिकाणी तर त्या महिलांसोबत किती सेन्सिटिव्हिटीने त्यांच्यासोबत डील करतात, ही एक महत्त्वाची गोष्ट मला या ठिकाणी सांगायची वाटते.
Collaborations and local linkages developed, benefiting students, colleges, civil society actors and society at large.
या सगळ्या लॉ चे स्टुडंट्स या सगळ्या उपक्रमामध्ये ओढले गेल्यामुळे त्यांना जे काही समाजाचं वास्तव भान येत आहे हा अतिशय महत्त्वाचा भाग आहे. कारण वर्गात शिकून आणि लेक्चर्स वाचून ऐकून आणि पुस्तकं वाचून जे काही आपण शिकतो त्याच्यापेक्षा समाजात जाऊन आपण जास्त चांगल्या प्रकारे तयार होतो.
एकदम माझ्या वयाची मुलं किती चांगल्या पद्धतीने आपल्याशी संवाद साधतात याचे थोडं त्यांना बरं वाटायला लागलं. आणि तरुण मुलांना लॉ कॉलेजबद्दलचं सामाजिक क्षेत्रात जाऊन काम करायचं, त्यांना असं वाटतं लॉ कॉलेजमधले विद्यार्थी लॉ म्हणजे वकील हे फक्त कोर्टातच असतात त्यांनी. परंतु जेव्हा अशी ग्रामीण भागात गल्लीमध्ये घरामध्ये जाऊन बोलत होती, संवाद साधत होती, त्यावेळेस लोकांचा सहभाग याच्यामुळे जास्त वाढला. आणि लोकांचा सहभाग वाढल्यामुळे आम्हाला पुढे प्रकल्प ऍक्टिव्हिटी करायला सोपं झालं. त्यामध्ये म्हणजे मी तुमच्या घरातलाच कोणी तर आहे नात्यातला असं वातावरण निर्माण केल्यामुळे थोडं त्यांना ते कायदा सोप्या भाषेत त्यांना समजायला लागला लोकांना.
असे काही विद्यार्थी आम्हाला असं जाणवलं की अरे हेच कायद्यासंबंधी खूप चांगलं मार्गदर्शन त्या युवा जागर अभियानामध्ये करू शकतात, मग बाकीचे इतर साधन व्यक्ती आणायचं गरज काय. सगळे कार्यकर्ते आम्हाला असे म्हणाले की आपल्या अभियानामध्ये आंबेडकर सर आणि त्यांचे सगळे विद्यार्थी आले होते, तर आपणही आपले सगळं टीम घेऊन त्यांच्या अभियानामध्ये सहभागी होऊ. हे विद्यार्थी हे फक्त प्रकल्पापुरते आमच्याशी जोडलेले नाहीत, तर प्रकल्प पश्चात देखील आमच्या संपर्कात ते राहिले.
Faculty members too became a part of this evolving conversation.
आपल्या विद्यार्थ्यांना एक नवीन संधी मिळणार आहे की या आंतरराष्ट्रीय लेवलच्या प्रोजेक्टमध्ये काम करता येईल, त्यांचं कामकाज खूप जवळून पाहता येईल आणि त्याचा फायदा विद्यार्थ्यांनी घेतला. कारण आपला उद्देशच होता वी आर द चेंज मेकर.
The impact did not remain confined to individual students. It traveled back with them, sparking conversations on gender, questioning archaic norms and opening spaces for dialogue and inclusion.
तशाच प्रकारे आम्ही त्या लीगल एड सेंटरमधून खूप साऱ्या गोष्टी अडॉप्ट केल्या, जसं की त्यांची फॉर्म भरण्याची पद्धत असेल किंवा त्यांची क्लायंट हाताळण्याची पद्धत असेल किंवा त्यांच्या क्लायंटच्या स्टेजेस बघण्याची पद्धत असेल, अशा सगळ्या टेक्निक्स आम्ही तिथून अडॉप्ट केल्या. आता त्यामुळे आमचं लीगल एड सेंटर पूर्वीपेक्षा खूप चांगलं वर्क करू शकतं आणि खूप चांगलं कार्य करू शकतं.
ह्या प्रोजेक्टच्या ट्रेनिंग झाल्यापासून आमच्या कॉलेजमधील वातावरण देखील चेंज झाले बऱ्यापैकी. मुलींमधील संवाद वाढलेत. तसेच आमच्या कॉलेजच्या कट्ट्यावरती लिंग, भेदभाव, समानता या विषयावरती चर्चा रंगू लागलेल्या आहेत.
परभणीसारख्या मागास असलेल्या जिल्ह्यामध्ये जिथे मुलामुलींचं बोलणं सुद्धा वावगं वाटतं, त्याचा बाव केला जातो, जेंडरबद्दल खूप असा अभाव निर्माण झालेला असतो मनामध्ये, ते आता कुठेतरी बदल होण्यास निर्माण झालेला आहे. मुलं मुली फ्रीली बोलत आहे एकमेकांशी.
Beyond knowledge and skill, something deeper began to shift. These trainings reshaped perspectives, strengthened confidence and awakened a deeper sense of responsibility within each student.
समजून घ्यायचंय तर त्यासाठी खूप बोलावं लागत नाही, पण तुम्हाला नेमकं लोकांना काय सांगायचंय हे आता या विद्यार्थ्यांना कळालंय. वकिली हा जरी एक प्रोफेशन असेल तरी पण त्याच्याकडे संवेदनशीलपणे बघण्याचा जो हे आहे ते त्यांच्यामध्ये होते.
म्हणजे काही लोक गावात येऊन तरी कधी जातील असं वाटतंय, पण यांना असं म्हणून लोक कधी येतात तुम्ही परत.
नेतृत्व कसं करायचं ना, नेतृत्व गुण यांच्यामध्ये आले आणि त्याचा नक्कीच त्यांच्या स्वतः वैयक्तिक आणि समाजासाठी ह्याचा फायदा होतो. आणि त्या पद्धतीनं आम्हाला असं खात्री वाटते की खरोखरच ते त्यांच्या आयुष्यात ज्यावेळेस अशा लोकांशी ते काम करतील त्यावेळेस त्यांना पदोपदी ह्याची कुठेतरी जाण होईल की आपण हे काम यांच्यासाठी केलं पाहिजे आणि आपण आपल्या कामाला प्रथमतः न्याय दिला पाहिजे.
ज्यावेळेस या प्रोजेक्टमधून बाहेर पडू किंवा ॲज अ ॲडव्होकेट म्हणून काम करेल मी, त्यावेळेस पण मला या गोष्टीचा सिरियसनेस राहील की चाइल्ड मॅरेज किती घातक आहे.
माझी पर्सनॅलिटी जी होती ती खूप इंट्रोवर्ट होती. मला लोकांसमोर बोलताना वगैरे खूप भीती वाटायची, पण जेव्हापासून मी निर्धार समानतेचा या प्रोजेक्टचा भाग बनले, ह्या सगळ्या ॲक्टिव्हिटीजमुळे माझ्यामध्ये करेज डेव्हलप झालं, माझ्यामध्ये कॉन्फिडन्स आला आणि त्यामुळे मी आता लोकांसमोर कॉन्फिडेंटली बोलू शकते, स्वतःचं मत मांडू शकते.
त्या प्रोजेक्टमध्ये येऊन मला माझे विचार बदलण्याची संधी मिळाली आणि माझ्यात जे बदल झाले आहे ते मी आता समाजात कसे देण्याचा प्रयत्न करण्याची माझ्या मनात धडपड निर्माण झाली.
की जेव्हा जेव्हा असे वेगवेगळ्या फॅकल्टीचे लोक एकत्र येतात आणि समाजातल्या सगळ्या अपप्रवृत्तींविरुद्ध जेव्हा लढायचं ठरवतात तेव्हा ती लढाई जास्त सशक्त होते, ती जास्त सर्वसामान्यांपर्यंत पोहोचू शकते.
आणि ज्या काही इन्स्टिट्यूशन्स आहेत ज्यांच्यासोबत मी कनेक्टेड राहिली, म्हणजे मी ॲज अन ॲडव्होकेट ज्यावेळेस मी कंप्लीट करेल माझे लॉ त्यावेळेस पण मी त्यांच्याशी कनेक्टेड राहील. समाजामध्ये मी या प्रोजेक्टचा कसा यूज होईल माझ्या स्वतःच्या पर्सनल लाईफमध्ये किंवा समाजामध्ये जर कोणाला माझी गरज पडेल तर मी नक्कीच त्यांना हेल्प करण्याचा प्रयत्न करेल.
The true impact of this journey cannot be measured only in numbers, reports, statistics or data. It lives in changed mindsets, in difficult conversations now being held, and in families who begin to see equality differently. When law is understood with empathy and practiced with conviction, it does more than resolve a case. It reshapes society.
This is not the end, but the beginning, where we believe that these change makers will continue to give voice to the voiceless and lead us towards a just and equitable society.
Thank you. Now we'll move to the next session. I would like to hand over the session to my colleague, Dr. Varsha Khandagale. She'll talk about the impact of the project activities.
Good afternoon to all the Indian delegates and good morning to the ones who are joining from Switzerland. It's a delight to speak with all of you today. I hope I'm audible now and my screen is visible to all of you. So I would be speaking about what kind of achievements and impact we can see through this entire project which the ILS Law College has run along with SWISSAID. A part of it or a glimpse of it has already been discussed in the video which we have seen just now. But to go to more details about it, I would just like to take you back to what were the objectives of this project. You can see that the main objective was to enhance the capacity of the legal aid clinics and to ensure that there is a locally sustainable and locally available structure which will help people to come and ask for support in case if it is needed. Along with that, the another objective was also to empower girls as well as boys and to see to it that the women come ahead and seek support as well as boys and men act as supportive partners and act as agents of change. With this objective, we started with this project in the Marathwada region. But the Marathwada region has certain peculiarities which we need to take into consideration for understanding its impact in a better manner. It's a highly drought-prone region and it is also economically underdeveloped. And these scenarios has resulted into a deeply rooted patriarchal social structure as well, which is very, very clearly evident in this area. And it is evident through a lot of social discrimination, adherence to gender roles, gender stereotypes, and which also often gets reflected in the form of higher prevalence of child marriage and domestic violence in this region. On this backdrop, when we started with this project, though the main aim was to benefit the students, the faculty members, and the educational institutions, but we see that the impact has been very encouraging, and we have been able to even impact certain other stakeholders directly as well as indirectly. And we find that there have been certain benefits even to the government agencies and the civil society organizations as well as to the society at large. To begin with, when I'm going to present about the impact, I would be first focusing on the impact on the students, and then I will be slowly going ahead to discuss the impact on each of the stakeholders. The first component which I've taken is that of students, and here we find that there is an 360-degree improvement in the students. There is improvement in their academic skills. There is a improvement in their perspective building. We find that there is a personality improvement also which has happened in the students. So first of all, coming to the academic and professional skills, we find that these students have developed a deeper understanding of the laws, and especially those laws which are harmful, which are related to harmful social practices which are existing and which are very, very regionally relevant for them, like child marriage and domestic violence. And the understanding of the law was not limited to the theoretical provisions, but it went ahead, and they also understood about how these laws operate in the real life context. So if at all a woman who is a victim of a domestic violence or of a child marriage or other discriminating behavior, she can and if she comes and approaches these students, they will be able to tell her about the provisions as well as what kind of mechanisms she needs to approach, whom she needs to approach, what applications she will have to file, which court she will have to approach to. So they are well versed with the theory as well as the practice. This has opened their awareness as regards all the mechanisms, legal mechanisms, as well as the government support agencies which are available for prevention of gender-based violence and discrimination. So overall, you will find that there's a better locally, academically, as well as practically sensitized and better lawyers who are in a position to guide these women in case if there is a need. Along with that, these students have also developed a better perspective, and they could understand all these issues with a sensitivity. They can look at the gender issues with an human rights perspective, and not only that they have developed this perspective, but at the same time they have also developed a commitment to give back to the society by way of promoting the culture of pro bono legal service. So they are now committed that, okay, in case if at all need arises, they are definitely going to go ahead and help the women or help in any manner whichever is possible. So we have seen examples where students have on their own taken efforts for the purposes of activating their legal aid centers. They have gone ahead and established collaborations with CSOs. They have gone ahead and acted as trainers in a pro bono manner at the CSOs. So these kinds of culture has got developed amongst them. And this has also resulted into growth of empathy amongst the students, where now they are better equipped with the grassroots situations. So those who used to think that these are the problems which are distant problems, these are not my problems, now they have developed a connect towards that problems as well, and they could understand it in a better manner. Overall, collaborations have increased, and here I am basically talking about collaborations from the point of view of students. That is, students better connected with fellow students, not only within their colleges, but also the other colleges within Maharashtra as well as Marathwada. Stronger engagement has developed with the other faculty members, and this has also introduced them to various government officials, civil society organizations. So through all these collaborations, now they are gaining a lot of experiences. They have been able to learn informally as well as formally, through formal as well as informal interactions which had happened through them, and they could learn about best practices and develop themselves. So there's an academic development which we see, there's a perspective development which we see. At the same time, there's also a personality development of these students which is very, very visible. So we find that now the students who used to earlier say that, okay, we have come to law because there was no other option, now they have understood that no, law has a purpose, it's a powerful tool, and they can use it for the purpose of bringing out change in the society. So they have been able to identify this purpose. They have better leadership, coordination, management skills, because they had to organize a lot of activities under the project. They had to meet different people. They had to communicate with different people, which has resulted into building their skills. Beyond skill building, especially, it has also resulted into improving their confidence to face any kind of situation overall, as well as their creativity was boosted through different competitions which we conducted throughout this project. And if you look at this overall benefits which the students are having, it has ultimately resulted in improving their self-image and also have given them a newer identity in their own eyes as well as in the eyes of the society at large. So this is a very big change when we look at it. Not only looking at the number, that is 640 students, but if you look at the way in which they have been developed in a 360-degree manner, it speaks volumes about the achievements of the project. At the same time, there are some important development outcomes for the faculty members who were involved in the project. So on one hand, definitely they also got a better understanding about the laws, deeper understanding about how they practically operate. But more importantly, being faculty members, they are able to integrate whatever they have learned in these classrooms, whatever they have understood in the classroom as well as on the field, into their classroom teaching. So we believe that when these faculty members are going to go tomorrow as teachers in their classrooms, they will carry this understanding with them every day in the classroom, and they will bring about that change in the future students as well. They have developed a newer commitment to the social justice. They have developed this gender and human rights perspective, as well as greater empathy towards the grassroots situations which are faced by the marginalized communities. And this we see from the fact that now these faculty members are taking newer and more interest in strengthening the legal aid clinics. They are highly engaged with the students, and they are trying to bring about more developments in the students by doing mentoring. So we have seen situations where the faculty members took the pains of actually going out and discussing few things with the family members of the students for the purposes of encouraging them to participate in the activities. So this also helped in bringing out better connections between the faculty members, students, and their family members. We have collaborative initiatives which were conducted, and with the help of these activities, where 2 colleges came together and conducted few activities, or 5 colleges came together and conducted few activities. So this developed a collaborative environment amongst the academic bodies as well. So the collaboration was not limited to the students, but it went out and reached the faculty members as well. We find that the collaborations were with also the government officials and the civil society organizations. So all of this has overall resulted into professional development of the faculty members, and with this, with the entire experience which they have got of working in the project, they will definitely have better opportunities for developing further in their academic as well as professional initiatives. So this is something which has been very, again, promising, because we look at faculty members not merely as today's beneficiaries, but we also look upon them as trainers for the future programs which we are going to conduct. So we already have a pool of resource persons today which we have with us in the form of these faculty members, who can later on help in training their students whenever we have to conduct similar activities in future. Apart from that, when we look at this entire program from the point of view of the institutions, we find that one most important objective, and with this rather impact, which was also one of the most important objective of the project, was about activating and revitalizing the legal aid centers within the educational institutions. We found that these educational institutions, though they had these centers, they were often run merely as a formality. But now the colleges have realized that how important it is to have an active legal aid clinic, and what kind of benefits can be achieved by having this active legal aid clinics, and that's why they are now adopting different methodologies in order to enhance the efficiencies of these centers. Through varied activities which were conducted, the visibility of the legal aid center and the services offered by them was enhanced, resulting into making these centers more accessible to women who are in need of such kind of a support. Now we have a sensitized faculty, students, alumni at all these educational institutions who are willing to contribute, give back to the institution in the form of coordinators, volunteers, panel advocates. So all of them together can see to it that the legal aid centers actually run in a proper manner. The overall academic environment of the institution has also increased by giving practical and legal exposure to the students. Now they have understood that we cannot limit our teachings to the classroom, but we have to take the students to the field and make them understand about the practicalities. The academic discussions which were happening within the institutional campuses, that has got enriched with more conversations around gender, around discrimination happening within the campus. And through this entire project, ultimately, the institution's reputation and visibility has also enhanced. Coming to the next stakeholder, that is of the government and civil society partners, we find that overall all these stakeholders have now strengthened collaborations with law colleges, and these collaborations they can definitely use for the purposes of so these people, the entire staff and the students which are available with these institutions can definitely be used as resource persons for different campaigns, for different sessions or trainings which are to be conducted by the CSOs. As well as we now have a good panel of lawyers who can contribute in the form of pro bono, in a pro bono manner whenever such kind of services are needed by the CSOs. Obviously, with the youth being involved in this project, youth taking the lead, it is very easy to develop a better connect with the other members of the society. Looking at the entire project from a broad social point of view, we find out that the project has good long-term social impacts also. So basically, we find that the project has been able to strengthen the justice ecosystem. And why do we say this? Because now we think that there are gender-sensitive lawyers who are equipped with human rights perspectives, who can support victims of gender-based violence and discrimination at the local level. We have judges who have deeper understanding of gender issues and social realities. So if these students become judges in future, they are definitely going to deal with those matters with a different level of sensitivity. We have academicians now who will integrate these perspectives into their legal education, which will help the future generations. And bureaucrats, and wherever these students are going to go, they will always act with a greater sense of responsibility. And with so much of youth being sensitized, responsible, and aware, we definitely know that these are going to act as catalysts of change. So they will be the torch bearers of change which we want to see in the society. And over a period of time, then we can see that this project will definitely have a ripple effect of learning, where the knowledge which is gained by these participants will be spread within the broader community. And overall collaborative environment. So everybody working in silos is not what is going to happen. Rather, we have collaborative environment where each one of us work together towards a common goal, which is definitely building a more inclusive and a gender equitable society. So this was a pilot initiative where we tried to utilize and find out what was the potential of a law college legal aid centers in addressing important social issues. And we find that the project has been highly successful, not only within the short term, but also it has significant potential for giving long-term benefits through its sustained implementation. However, we also believe that there's a need to continue and expand this initiative in order to achieve more deeper and more meaningful outcomes. And that's why there's a need to explore newer funding avenues in order to continue with this program. We are simultaneously also trying to push for making some institutionalized changes. For example, covering the training programs which we had undertaken under this project or including them as a part of the legal curriculum, giving more importance to legal aid centers in the legal curriculum. That is what we are trying to advocate with the government, with the legal services authorities, as well as with the Bar Council of India. We hope that all of these efforts will definitely help us in building a more inclusive society. And we do think that projects like this will not only though the project ends with a 3 years period, but it continues to give its effect in the coming years as well. So thank you all of you for your patient hearing, and I would like to extend my thanks to all those who have provided and who have guided me, supported us, and assisted us in this entire initiative. Especially, I would like to put on record thanks to Honorary Secretary of Indian Law Society, Ms. Vaijayanti Joshi, Principal of ILS Law College, Dr. Deepa Paturkar ma'am, my colleagues, Dr. Suvarna Nilakh, Dr. Divya Mittal, Dipali Chavan, Ketan Pawar, and all the entire team of SWISSAID, without whose support this project would not have been possible. Thank you. Now, with this short presentation, now I would like to call upon Harshavardhan More to present before the August gathering his achievements through the project, what he has got to learn through the project.
First of all, I would like to thank both of these non-governmental organizations or these international organizations like SWISSAID and European Union for taking the cognizance of increasing rate of domestic violence and child marriages in India, and especially in Marathwada region, and running a specialized program for the welfare of people and welfare of women and children here. And I would like to thank ILS Law College for being the medium to run this program at Marathwada region. So with this, and I would like to convey my warm wishes to all of these women who are present here on the occasion of World Women's Day. A very happy Women's Day to all of the women present here. So, moving forward with my views and my words, it is my great honor for to stand before you today as a representative and a former lead student of this project in Parbhani district. Myself Harshvardhan More, and I am from Sri Shivaji Law College, Parbhani. So during this project, I was the lead student coordinator of Shivaji Law College, and during this project, I have conducted 6 school awareness campaigns and 3 community campaigns at village panchayats and Jilla Parishad and other local governing authorities. And it was a privilege to work directly with the grassroots level and to communicate with locals and local stakeholders of my region and my locality. So I think that the greatest shift from the increasing rate of child marriages and domestic violence would shift towards the lessening of the numbers of these cases, and most of the social impact will be covered from the school awareness campaigns that we have conducted, because once John F. Kennedy has stated that children are the living messages to a time that we won't see, and I can definitely say that the student awareness campaigns at a school level that we have conducted will change the scenario within next 2 years totally. Then afterwards, I was successful in preventing three child marriages in my district with the help of one-stop crisis center, WCD office, and the district magistrate office. Along with it was a scenario. There was a scenario where behind my house, where a boy who was drunk, he was beating his mother, and she was helpless. and the local stakeholders were just seeing them, and no one was doing anything to prevent her from that. At that time, the connections we have made through this program and these trainings with the WCD office and the One Stop Crisis Center helped me a lot to prevent such a crime that was happening against such an old age woman. Most importantly, with the support of these local stakeholders, yesterday I have prevented one more child marriage. Also, these were not just activities, they were moments where awareness transformed into actions and knowledge become the empowerment. This project shaped my overall development in several ways. Like, it improved my leadership skill from in such a way that when we have organized several campaigns at school campaigns, school awareness campaigns, or community campaigns. I learned the skills for managing teams, coordinating events, and engaging with authorities that strengthened my leadership abilities. Also, interacting with students, parents, teachers, and village leaders enhanced my public speaking and interpersonal skills. Also, my public relations skills. Also, then being a law student, this project connected the my classroom learnings with real life justice delivery. Like, in a way that if any woman or any person come to me with such cases, I can confidently help them to and say them like how they can get justice, or what would they do in future for getting justice. Then this project helped me to improve my decision making powers, because handling sensitive cases taught me accountability, discretion, and compassion towards these matters and cases. Through this project, I learned that the social change requires patience, persistence, and partnership. And with the and I can definitely say that with the local stakeholders and the students that have participated in our school campaigns, will definitely helps us to achieve this social change very earlier. The learnings from project Nirdhar Samantecha will guide me in my future in such a way that I am planning to continue working in child right and women empowerment initiatives, and I'm aiming to integrate legal aid and community outreach in my professional career. I am currently mentoring my junior students. Also, I will do volunteering to sustain this movement. I intend to collaborate NGOs, governmental bodies, and international organizations to scale up the impact. And my goal will be to ensure that the awareness do not remain limited to campaigns, and but it must become a part of everyday community life. As we have seen in the video, that some of the students have presented their views.
Okay, Harshavardhan, can we just also give chance to Kiran to speak for a while?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you for giving me this opportunity. Now I would like to hand over the session to Ms. Kiran.
Thank you, Harshavardhan. Firstly, my warm greetings to all of you. My name is Kiran Survase. I am from Dr. Bapuji Salunkhe Law College, Dharashiv in Maharashtra. Today, I am going to share my experience in Nirdhar Samantecha project. So, before joining this project, I was a very shy and introverted person. Even in small mobs, in front of small groups, I hesitate to share my opinions and express my thoughts. But after entering in this project, after working in this project, I saw a gradual change within myself, that I become a more confident. The activities like conducting legal aid camps and taking permissions from village councils, writing speeches, preparing street plays, pushed me out of my comfort zone and helped me to build my confidence. Now, today, I can stand before people confidently and speak publicly without any hesitation. Also, through this project, I became more aware about the social issues like gender sensitization, domestic violence, child marriage, and I understood that how it affects the society and how legal awareness can bring the change. In future, I definitely try to work on these issues at my individual level through my profession and guide people, especially women, about their rights. Thank you.
Maybe we have time to take, I don't know, I've seen one question concerning the benefit of for the GBV survivors. Maybe we want to take this one.
Yeah, this question maybe for Varsha ma'am. If you can take this question. The question was, it is promising to see sensitized legal aid providers. The question was how it made impact on GBV survivors. Like, does it help directly to the survivors?
Okay, so see, directly the survivors will get benefit through different ways. Like, for example, in case if they need any kind of legal support, these students would be, through the legal aid centers, would be in a position to provide that kind of a support. Secondly, by acting as catalysts for change, it is possible that these students are going to take their learnings into the community and they are going to create awareness in the community. So, through this awareness and sensitization programs, which they are going to carry out in the community, there's a possibility of bringing out some change in the community as a whole also. So, this is there may not be direct impact as such, which I can say that, okay, this is how it has impacted them. But when you see that these students have actually gone ahead and stopped few child marriages. So when they got information about the child marriages through the awareness campaigns which they were conducting, they did not stop there. They knew all the provisions of law. They knew whom to approach, and they activated the entire machinery and saw to it that the marriages are getting stopped. So this is a direct benefit which has happened to a person who has been a survivor of gender-based discrimination. Similarly, we see that there are people. So there were examples where a student who is also a data center operator in a women and child department of the government of Maharashtra in that particular district. But whenever calls used to come to the data to the WCD, nobody used to take those calls that much seriously. But now he is a student who is trained under the project. Once he gets to know the information about such kind of a call coming up, he informs the other authorities. He is willing to go along with them, and he is trying to see to it that the marriage is getting stopped. So these are the benefits which the gender-based violence survivors are also going to get. So if that answers the question.
Yeah. Yeah, and there is another question, but I just wanted to ask Valentina whether we...
Let's take one more. Let's take the last one that was just posted in the chat.
Yeah, the question is, what difficulties did you encounter while doing this work, and how did you handle them? I think this question is, of course, to Varsha ma'am, but it is more to the student also.
So if I have to answer this from the project point of view, we would like to say that there were difficulties, but obviously we tried to manage them. And one of the major difficulty which we had was different academic schedules of different universities, because we were working with 3 different universities simultaneously, and it was difficult to find out time from their academic schedules, get them to attend the training, get them to go out in the community and conduct the activities. So planning their entire schedule of the training as well as the post-training activities was one of the major challenge. But then we had to find out certain months in a year where everyone was comparatively, available on the campus. where we focused on the classroom trainings, and some period of the year where everyone was not on the campus, where we could also ask them to go ahead and conduct post-training activities. So that was one of the challenge which we had faced. Apart from that, when we started with these projects, this project, we had understood that legal aid centers were only existing as a part of a formality, and none of them were actually exposed to what kind of work really a legal aid center should engage into. So they were not understanding as to how actually we are going to benefit the community, how this center, how through this training people are going to get benefited. But then again, through the for this, we actually organized a separate internship for selected students at ILS Legal Aid Center, where we exposed to them as to what kind of work a good legal aid center can actually conduct, and in what manner a good support system can be developed for the people who are victims of such kind of issues. And it is from this that the students then got exposed to it, they learned about it, and then they expressed that okay, we would also like to go back and invest our time in it, and we will like to see to it that the centers are active. And the students have gone to such an extent that now they are saying that even after we graduate, we'll come back and we will see to it that the way the students of ILS, after graduating, becoming an alumni, they still remain connected with the ILS Legal Aid Center. We will also try to remain connected with our center. So that's what they have expressed to us.
Yes, thank you, Dr. Varsha. I think there are no more questions. And if we can move to the closure.
I think there probably would be more questions if we had more time, but we already 15 minutes over time. I would like to thank everybody, especially the audience, very much for staying with us for this 1.25 hours. I think we heard a lot on how we can engage the law students in prevention, in the campaigns, how we can engage them in the response, in the one-stop centers and the legal aid clinics. I have to say it's probably a unique setting, the ecosystem in India, that we even have these legal aid clinics and also the requirements of the law colleges to be engaged. That's a perfect setting, but as we heard from Dr. Varsha and Dr. Suvarna, that the system so far was not super active or kind of working to its full potential. I hope that with these interventions, with this project, we could trigger something in the rural areas with the support, especially of the ILS Law College in Pune, to bring all these stakeholders together so that these structures which are there are actually working better for the benefit of the GBVD survivors. So I'm very happy to hear all these very good results. The project is ending soon, but we hope that with one way or the other, we will continue and have even a scaling up of all these interventions. I would like to thank you very much, especially the ILS Law College, for being such a super great partner of us in this. Without you, we could not have done this and the whole work with the law colleges. Obviously, law colleges also that are associated, that the students could work pro bono with us and being engaged with us, and all other partners, also the government partners who were there, and the staff at SWISSAID that worked tirelessly to make this happen. Thank you so much. I think it was a worthwhile occasion on the International Women's Day to showcase and present what we are doing as an innovation here in India, and maybe this can also be scaled to other countries if we can create this enabling environment. So for me, thanks a lot. This are we coming to the end of this session, and you find more information on our website. You can always contact also the ILS Law College. I'm sure you're open to respond to questions that might come up. Yes, thank you very much for being with us during this webinar. Goodbye to everybody.